Hey everybody, my name is Kristi Knott, and today we're going to be looking at 1 Peter chapter 1, verses 6 through 9. It says this, "In this you rejoice, though now for a little while, if necessary, you have been grieved by various trials, so that the tested genuineness of your faith, more precious than gold that perishes though it is tested by fire, may be found to result in praise and glory and honor at the revelation of Jesus Christ. Though you have not seen him, you love him. Though you do not now see him, you believe in him and rejoice with a joy that is inexpressible and filled with glory, obtaining the outcome of your faith, the salvation of your souls." Now, in this passage, we see three things regarding faith. And the first is the object of our faith. That's Jesus, when we first put our hope in him for salvation. And then secondly, we have this outcome of our faith, the salvation of our souls. And between these two things, here's the third thing with faith. It is the testing of our faith that happens through various trials, Peter says. Now, Peter says, you have been grieved by various trials for the testing of our faith. Now, I don't particularly like trials, and in some ways I prefer to avoid them or ignore them and maybe pretend that they aren't there. But here's the newsflash. Life is a trial. Life is the trial, okay? All of us experience temptations to sin on a daily basis. All of us have or will experience great loss. Some people experience persecution and marginalization because of their faith. And it's true that all of us will face one last trial, and that is walking through death's door. Now, Peter says that our faith is more precious than gold. Okay, our faith is more precious than gold that's been refined by fire and purified down to zero imperfections. Our faith is more precious than that, okay? And by testing it, God is making our faith pure. God is making it more genuine. So what makes faith genuine? First this, faith produces humility, okay? He says, though you have not seen Jesus, you love him. Though you haven't seen him, you trust that he is for you, okay? A humble person comes to God and says, I have nothing. A humble person knows the reality of their situation with sin and various trials and turns to God for help. This always takes humility because faith recognizes that a person can't do it on their own. And so it steps into trust and says, Jesus, I can't, but you can. And for us, it's faith because we can't see Jesus. But we trust that he's for us and he's working on our behalf. Okay, second, faith produces obedience. Faith says, Jesus, even though I can't see you, I know your ways, and they are better than mine. My ways are pretty corrupt and gross, but I'm going to follow you, and I'm going to obey you. And that's one of the fruits of having faith in him. Now, as I'm saying this, some of you are like, yeah, of course. And then some of us, our hearts are a little dry. We've been really wrestling with our faith. Some of us, our faith is just hanging on by a thread. And you're not alone. I remember about a time about 8 years ago when I was really, really struggling. I had this nagging thought in the back of my head, just, am I an idiot for believing this? Is this even real? And I remembered this verse in Jeremiah, and it says, if you seek me with your whole heart, you will find me. And while my faith was just hanging on by a thread, I clung to that verse. And my prayer became, Lord, would you show yourself to me? would you please just show yourself to me? I am struggling. And throughout the next year and a half, God refined my faith. He grew it. He took this thing that was just hanging on by a thread and said, Kristi, I'm going to meet you right where you're at. And he created this unwavering faith. And he's done that numerous times in my life, where he's taken whatever faith I had, he's made it grow just a little bit, and then he's purified it a little bit more, and he's made it genuine. Life is a trial, and God's using it to refine your faith. And I'm praying that as a church, we would prove our faith in Jesus to be genuine, that our faith would produce humility and that it would produce obedience. Guys, even though we have not seen Jesus, may we love him. And the Bible says that when we walk in faith, he's going to produce in us an inexpressible joy. And you know what? The world can't deny that. So let's band together, let's seek the Lord together, and have a humble and obedient faith. Have a great day.